Have you ever felt watched? You're alone in your room, the lights are dim, everything is quiet, and yet you feel it. An invisible gaze. Your spine tingles, your heart beats a little faster. You turn around instinctively, but no one's there. We've all had this eerie moment, a strange paranoia that creeps up in solitude. But what if I told you this sensation is neither random nor irrational? There are deep psychological and biological reasons why your brain convinces you that someone's watching, even in complete isolation. And today, we'll explore exactly why. From ancient survival instincts to modern neuroscience, to the illusions created by your own imagination. Let's unravel one of the brain's most fascinating mysteries. Why do we feel watched, even when we're alone? Part 1. The survival brain. To understand this, we have to go back, way back, to our ancestors. Long before cities and smartphones, humans lived in a world full of hidden dangers. A rustle in the grass might mean a predator. A shift in the wind could signal a stalking enemy. So our brains evolved a special alert system, a radar for attention. If something was watching us, even from a distance, our senses needed to detect it fast. Because in the wild, being watched often meant being hunted. This system became a part of our survival blueprint, even when there was no danger. False alarms were better than no alarms at all. So your brain became highly sensitive to the idea of being watched, even without proof. That same ancient wiring still exists inside your head today. When you sit in a room alone and feel a presence, it's not a ghost. It's your evolutionary alarm bell, ringing just in case. Part 2. Your brain is hardwired for gaze. Now here's where things get even more fascinating. There's a part of your brain called the superior temporal sulcus. It's responsible for interpreting eye contact, facial expressions, and gaze direction. This brain region is always scanning for where people are looking, even if you're not conscious of it. But here's the kicker. It can activate even when no one is actually there. You might see a shadow, or even just imagine someone nearby, and this part of your brain fires off a response. It interprets ambiguous stimuli, shapes, sounds, feelings, as potential watchers. Your brain doesn't want to miss a real threat, so it prefers false positives. This is called the hyperactive agency detection system, or HADS. Basically, your brain detects agents, beings with intent, even when there are none. It's the same system that explains why we see faces in clouds, or hear footsteps in silence. You're wired to imagine watchers in the dark. Part 3. The imagination reality loop. What if I told you, your imagination alone can make you feel watched? You don't need eyes on you. Just thinking someone might be looking is enough. This happens because of a powerful feedback loop between your imagination and your sensory system. When you visualize someone watching you, your brain mimics the experience as if it's real. This is thanks to mirror neurons, specialized brain cells that help you feel what others feel. They're how you cringe when someone gets hurt, or get goosebumps during a sad scene. When you imagine being watched, these neurons fire, and suddenly you feel like there's a presence nearby. Even when your logical brain says you're alone, your emotional brain tells another story, and in moments of stress, anxiety, or isolation, this feedback loop becomes even stronger. Your body tightens, your hearing sharpens, your skin crawls. What you feel starts to override what you know. Part 4. The spotlight effect. Now let's add a psychological layer. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like everyone was watching you? This is known as the spotlight effect. It's a cognitive bias where we believe we're being noticed more than we actually are. You trip, you stutter, you wear mismatched socks, and suddenly you think everyone must have seen that. But here's the truth. Most people are too focused on themselves to pay attention to you. Still, the illusion sticks, and when you're alone, that feeling doesn't completely vanish. You've internalized the spotlight. The audience is now in your head. So even in solitude, you carry the weight of imagined judgment. That invisible crowd is your own mind, replaying social anxiety on loop. Part 5. Culture and religion condition us. Our environment makes this worse. Since childhood, we've been told, God is watching. Santa sees everything. CCTV is everywhere. Even the famous saying, dance like nobody's watching, implies someone probably is. We're trained to be conscious of surveillance. Parents, teachers, authorities, we grow up feeling eyes on us, real or imagined. This cultural conditioning embeds the watcher inside our psyche. So when you're finally alone, your brain struggles to accept it. You still act with caution. You still fix your posture. You still hesitate before singing aloud in the room. The watchers may not be real anymore, but the feeling very much is. Part 6. Nighttime makes it worse. Ever notice this feeling gets worse at night? That's no coincidence. When it's dark, your vision weakens. Your imagination fills in the blanks. Every creak, every shadow, every fluttering curtain becomes a potential threat, your body goes on high alert. Because historically, nighttime was dangerous. We were vulnerable to attacks by animals, by humans, by the unknown. Even though you're safe in your home, your primal brain still behaves like you're in a cave surrounded by darkness. This heightened alertness makes you more likely to misinterpret signals. Your brain becomes a projector, casting imaginary watchers into the silence. Part 7. Loneliness and the social brain. Here's a paradox. When you're lonely, you're more likely to feel like you're being watched. Why? Because humans are social creatures. We evolved in tribes, depending on others for safety, food, and emotional survival. When isolated, your brain panics. It craves connection, even artificial ones, and so it imagines presence. It creates watchers, not always as threats, but as companions. That slight sensation that someone's near, it might be your brain trying to not feel alone. In this way, the watcher is a coping mechanism. Your mind's attempt to maintain social contact in absence of real people. It's haunting, but also oddly human. Part 8. When it's a problem. Now let's talk balance. Feeling watched occasionally, normal. But if this sensation becomes persistent, if you feel surveillance all the time, it could be a red flag. People with social anxiety, paranoia, or schizotypal tendencies often report constant feelings of being observed. In extreme cases, this leads to delusions of surveillance, believing cameras or people are watching 24/7. If these feelings interfere with daily life, it's important to seek help, because while the brain is powerful, it sometimes needs a tune-up. Mental health professionals can help rewire the misfiring circuits. You don't have to live under a shadow that isn't there. So next time you feel like you're being watched, pause, take a breath, and remember, it's not paranoia, it's your brain doing its ancient job, keeping you alert, aware, and alive. It's evolutionary instinct, neural wiring, cultural echoes, emotional memory, all combining to produce one simple, eerie sensation. You're not crazy, you're human. And in that strange moment of invisible eyes, you're simply experiencing a glimpse into how beautifully complex your mind truly is. This is Clarity Hub, where the mind meets meaning. Don't forget to subscribe and share if this video resonated with you, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever felt watched when you were alone?